we talk about oil changes. Here's the regular set of oil changes for a Corvair engine in your airplane. We want to go for 1 hour, then 5 hours, 10 hours, 25, and 50. Those are your oil change intervals when you're just getting started. Now, people ask, do I have to? Absolutely not. The record so far is we had a guy run 86 hours on his break-in oil, but you don't want to take that record. What you want to do is stick with the approved plan. Now, we're going to go over some elements of basic oil changes just so that you understand what you're accomplishing by changing the oil. It's a little bit more involved than doing it in your car, but understand the logic of it, and we'll move forward from there. So, let's take a look at which oil we want to use. This is Shell Rotella T 15W40. This is the oil that I've used for years and years. You may have a different oil that you like for your car, but honestly, I'm going to tell you, is there any reason why you shouldn't be using the same oil that everybody else is? This is long proven to work. I've seen the inside of plenty of motors. This is quality stuff. It's available everywhere. It's not expensive. Lots of guys will say, well, I've got some sort of special oil that I really like. Well, keep in mind, what's particular about this is it's loaded with zinc phosphate, and we keep an eye on that at all times. So you absolutely want to make sure that you're using oil with zinc phosphate in it. Lots of people say, well, this special brand or that special brand, you don't even know if it's compatible with 100 low lead. This stuff works. So one of those questions you have to ask yourself, why am I not doing what everybody else who's successful is doing? And the easy answer is just do this. It's available everywhere. This is the standard oil that we use. Now, one of the things you hear people talk about is this oil has zinc in it, which is not common to regular car oils anymore. So, why do we need zinc? Because you have a flat lifter in your motor, and a flat lifter operates differently than a roller lifter, and it needs zinc phosphate, especially in brand new motors. Zinc like this. Why do I just not put this in my motor? No, not zinc like this. What you need is zinc like this. This is ZDDP. ZDDP, particularly this brand, works very, very well, and we use it all the time in Corvairs. This supplements what is in the oil itself already, but you want to make sure that you have ZDDP in the oil in a addition on the first startup and run. And I traditionally put about half a bottle in with every oil change, even though I'm using the Shell Rotella T. Let's take a look at what's in an oil change. Oil change. Do you do an oil change by weaseling the drain plug out and pouring it through the top of the cowl through an oil filler door? Absolutely not. An oil change is actually an inspection on the airplane. So what you want to do is you want to get the cowling completely off, because this is a natural interval for a very, very thorough inspection on an aircraft. Part of the reason why we have early inspections, like 1 and 5 hours on it, is because you ought to be keeping a really sharp eye when you're in phase 1 on your engine. And this is a natural chance to take a look at stuff early. So cowling off. Second thing is you're going to perform an inspection. You're not just doing the oil change. You're using this as an opportunity to do a complete and thorough inspection over everything on the engine. Make it so. Okay, do I have to change the filter? No, I can't force you to change the filter. Should logic dictate? Yes, you should change the filter. A lot of people get in giant debates about filters. If you watch the internet, you know that it's the evil Fram filter. The evil Fram filter, always some guy on the internet says Frams are evil. Do you think I'd rather see a Fram filter changed at 5 hours or see someone run the perfect oil filter for 86 hours? You can guess on that one. My own personal choice is either a K&N or a Mobil 1 filter. They both work really well. Even Wix works very well from Napa stores. But the point is, we're changing the oil and the filter. Why are we going to change the filter? Because we want to have a look-see inside the filter also. The look-see inside the motor is going to come in 2 forms. What you're going to do is you're going to take an oil sample, and we'll talk about that in a subsequent video. But you're also going to cut the oil filter open. A lot of guys have never seen this done before. A lot of people offering opinions about oil filters have never done this before. People cutting it open with a grinder, which is useless. It's putting metal in the test sample. What you need to cut an oil filter open is an oil filter cutter, just like this critter right here. Works like a can opener. This particular brand also cuts the small oil filter that we use. A regular aircraft oil filter cutter will not cut the small oil filter that we use, so you got to have a little one. But this should be in your toolbox because you're going to want to cut the oil filter open and take a look inside at the particles. We're going to go over what the particles look like. There's a normal amount of wear and tear that goes on in a motor, and you're going to take a look at these parts, but you're also going to send the oil sample away, and they're going to put it through a very, very special analysis. And that special analysis will be part of an ongoing trend record for your specific motor and be compared against other motors. This is what running a professional program is all about. You spend a lot of money and a lot of time on this motor. You're going to make sure that this thing has ongoing health care. And we're going to do preventive health care on this. We are not going to figure out how to cure it when it's been flying for say 86 hours. All right, so we're going to cut the filter open. And the last part of this is you are going to put this in the logbook. This is critical. Logbook entry required on an oil change. You want to know when it was done. You want to make sure the sample was sent out. You want to go through all this stuff. And this all is part of running a professional program. You didn't run a great program and keep a builder's log only to throw all those concepts away once you got done with the airplane. Keeping logs and records is part of running a good, tight operation, and that's what you want to do. One of the most common questions is, does this need to be done at annual? Absolutely. Why? Because an annual is an inspection, and you are inspecting the inside of the motor also. Well, what if you just flew 15 hours and now it's time for an annual? I got news for you. You're changing the oil and you're cutting the oil filter open because you're a professional with your own engine and you're the expert in your own engine, and you're going to inspect the inside of that filter. And you're going to send a sample off for oil analysis. Oil analysis is about $15 a sample. It's really a very, very small part of the cost of operating an airplane. But it's a critical look inside and knowing what's going on with it. So yes, at annual you're going to change the oil, and you're going to obviously do a logbook entry for your condition inspection. This is an important part of, again, maintenance and record keeping. When I go to somebody's airplane and I take a look at it and I'm doing a hangar visit, take a look, and if they say, oh, I only flew 20 hours last year and they didn't do an oil change, they're not doing it right. So be the guy who does it the right way. And remember, please, if you like the video, subscribe.